Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy masterfully captured the essence of J.R.R. Tolkien's epic, but adapting the vast legendarium meant making difficult cuts. While some omissions were expected, such as Tom Bombadil, one of the most underrated character arcs quietly vanished from the movies, the redemption of Lobelia Sackville-Baggins. While her story was a fascinating subplot in the books, it ultimately had no place in the films. Lobelia Sackville-Baggins, from Thorne and Bilbo's side to an unsung hero. Lobelia Sackville-Baggins and her family were known for their greed, entitlement, and hostility toward Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. She and her husband, Otho, desperately wanted Bag End and saw Bilbo's disappearance as an opportunity to claim it. Upon Bilbo's unexpected return, she brazenly tried to deny knowing him, even as she looted his belongings, famously making off with his silver spoons. Her rivalry with Bilbo continued, as she remained bitter over his decision to leave Bag End to Frodo instead of her family. When Frodo prepared to leave the Shire, however, he sold the house to Lobelia. This transaction seemed like a final victory for her, but fate had other plans. The Scouring of the Shire gave Lobelia a redemption arc. Lobelia's character evolved significantly during the return of the king's omitted Scouring of the Shire. When Saruman, disguised as Sharky, and his minions took over, her son Lotho became a puppet leader under their rule. The peaceful Shire was industrialized, and its inhabitants were oppressed. Though Lobelia had spent much of her life resenting Bilbo and Frodo, she stood up to Sharky's ruffians when they attempted to take more land. Armed with nothing but her umbrella, she fought back and was imprisoned for her defiance. Upon her release after the hobbits reclaimed the Shire, she was met with unexpected cheers from the very people who once despised her. Lobelia, now a changed hobbit, no longer desired Bag End. Grieving the loss of her son, she donated her wealth to aid those who had suffered under Sharky's rule and left to spend her remaining days with her relatives. In the end, she transformed from a selfish antagonist into a selfless figure, earning the respect of the Shire. Why Peter Jackson had to cut Lobelia's arc. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings is rich with interwoven character journeys, but adapting them all for the screen was impossible. Peter Jackson had to prioritize, which meant omitting the Scouring of the Shire. Without this event, Lobelia's redemption arc could not exist in the films. Jackson did briefly acknowledge the Scouring. Frodo sees a vision of the Shire's destruction in Galadriel's mirror, but this was a warning of what could happen, rather than a plot point. The trilogy needed to maintain focus on the War of the Ring and Frodo's journey, leaving no room for the Shire's later struggles. Lobelia's absence from the films doesn't diminish the power of her story in the books. While the films highlight Middle-earth's grand battles and heroic sacrifices, Lobelia's tale is a reminder that redemption can come in the most unexpected forms, even from the least likely of hobbits. Search. Reason.